talk about refurbishing devices. So what I'm going to cover is what's the purpose of just the whole purpose of it. All the information I found, the facts, figures, charts, then more on refurbishing and just my overall conclusion on what I think is important and what I think is best. So the purpose of the project is the effectiveness of potentially refurbishing, replacing and reusing digital devices for different companies, not just household places but actual companies and why they should refurbish. So what I found that the government have created white papers on it for 2024 of new legislation that they're going to implement, saying all the information that we have, all the data they found themselves, and saying this is what we have to do. This is going to be law at this point. You have to follow it. You can't not follow it. So I've researched 4 different companies, which are Fareham College, a company called Flow, Novatech, and Silver Lining. So all of these companies, most of them refurbish and the other ones don't refurbish. So Fareham College are the main college that don't refurbish. They actually replace technology. So they buy new and then they will replace and rent out their technology. So they will just lease all their stuff so they can constantly upgrade it. So they don't have to worry about the e-waste. It gets passed on back to the supplier of the actual company. And then whereas a company like Silver Lining, they buy in new for clients, but they also sell refurbished goods to the clients that want refurbished goods. For example, if a company doesn't need all the newest technology like the MacBook Pro 2023, they can get the MacBook 2021, which will be half the cost of the brand new one, but it will do the exact same thing and it will just last the same amount of time, but they can constantly replace it and upgrade their components in it without having to worry about the warranty and all that other stuff. So yeah, one thing about Flow, they are a software development company. They actually are a startup company that don't need new technology, that are using new technologies because the older technologies isn't as good for them, as they've got all the grants from the government and all them places, so they're getting all the money in to buy new, where they have the benefit of buying it. So these are a few facts and figures that I found. So WEE targets, this is like the estimated they had in 2024, but also it shows what their goal is and what they're aiming to do to how much tons of waste they can actually collect to lower the impact. As you can see in 2014, their target was 490,000, and they passed that, whereas they've got a lower target in 2020, but they're hoping they can actually beat that. So from the target, they're planning to beat it from the years previous, as you can see from both the figures there. So overall, there's a lot of companies, I talked about and what they do, whereas I've gathered research from talking to each of these companies by having face-to-face interviews with Fareham College and Flow and Silver Lining, whereas companies like Novatech are a much bigger company. You can't really actually contact them and talk to them because they're always busy with all their sales and all that, so they'll get back to you whenever they can. But there's been a lot of resources, like secondary resources I found on the internet from their company that talk about their goals, what their impact is, and what their overall plan is as they sell refurbished goods. So they have a lot on their blogs and all that on what their goal is, what they're actually trying to aim for. For example, Fareham College, as I've explained, they don't actually buy new, they replace all their stuff. Well, they buy new and replace all their stuff, they don't refurbish any of their goods. They don't have the need to because of their government paid. Whereas the other companies nowadays are starting to refurbish because it's more important for them. Overall, I think refurbishing for these companies is a much better idea because as you show back to the figures, it shows the actual impact of how many they've produced. And if more companies are doing that, it's going to lower the impact overall, and it's going to be much beneficial for them. So task three is basically is where I've had to pick a company out of the ones I've researched, and I've had to create a project plan for them and how I'm going to convert them to either refurbish or replace new goods. So the company I chose was Flow. Flow's a small company, it's a start-up. They're very new to the industry, whereas they need the new technology for, like, if they're creating websites and all that stuff. You can't really buy a 24-inch monitor with really low resolution. You need something high quality so they can actually understand, see what they're doing and get it accurate. So they kind of want to buy new technology. Where in my idea, they can convert from using their technology they already own. So they own about 5 different pieces of brand new technology like MacBooks and all that. My goal for them was to sell those devices on, as they're still new, they'll get a lot of money back from it, and then they can buy older technology through the company. Instead of them actually using their technology they've already got, they'll get the money back from it, and they'll actually have more money if they buy refurbished goods, and they'll have money left over from refurbished goods because they can spend about 3,000 on a brand new MacBook, where they can spend about 800 on a model that's lower but does the same job, and they'll still have all that money left over to spend on other stuff to help develop their company. The reason they don't refurbish is because they're brand new, but it helps impact, like the benefit of it. It lowers the e-waste all around for every company, but it also brings more money back into their balance and all that, and it makes them more compliable to WE standards, but also the white paper the government are producing. So this is the Gantt chart that I've created for the company. It just shows how I've laid out their company and what they're going to be doing, and how I'm going to convert them into actually refurbishing, and also create a software for them where it will tell me if their computers need an upgrade, whether it's old, or what components are starting to fail, so they can refurbish them instead of going out and spending a lot of money on new technology. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, so did you